G'day everyone, welcome back. I'm Todd from Toxic Garage Customs. Behind me is Sam's GMC, Clive as he fondly calls it. Well, we dragged Clive out from down the back paddock and up to just outside the workshop, and we've done some work to him. So in this video what you're going to see is that once again we wrangle snakes. Always a bit of an adventure, but hey, we've just decided the snake that is fond of Sam's car is a really friendly snake, so we leave him best alone. But what we end up doing, by the end of this video, what you'll see is that we do some work on the rear suspension, but most importantly we lower it about 7 inches with a leaf spring relocation kit. So I won't talk too much, watch the video, I'll see you at the end. Thanks. What are you up to, Sam?
Just lifting the tray off my GMC.
Yep. And what are you going to do?
First get the python out the back.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Righto, what, he's not going to fit in with the picture of what you're trying to do?
No, I don't. Yeah, I don't want him to help out.
Oh, okay. Oh, there he is.
I like to work alone.
Okay. I'll go back to bed. There he is there. He looked pretty content. He'd probably prefer we left him alone, but we're going to have to move you on, mate, because it's just not going to work for us, I'm afraid.
I noticed he's got a little injury when he lifts his head up.
Oh,
he's got a little
right.
scratch on him.
So yeah, I guess this is Brutus, I don't know. Knew he'd moved on, but I also found a big snake poo the other day, so I knew he was still in the area. So he'd probably prefer we just left him alone, but you know what? Work has to be done.
Yep.
Right here. Snake, he just wants to be left alone.
Yeah, go forward.
I can't see, are we okay?
Yep, we're fine. Just these real arches. That should clear. Yep. Yep. That's why you don't stop quick.
Perfect. You'll get to edit that out. So, we have one snake who doesn't seem to be the type of play. We nearly flipped this thing over backwards onto its tailgate because we forgot to untie one piece of rope. But other than that, everything is perfect. What do you think, Pumba? What is your opinion? What is your opinion? Yep, good. Okay. He is still there, still being a snake, and he's going, stop being a wuss bag, just catch me, I know that you can do it. And I'm going, no, I'm not going to do that.
But I didn't stop because I thought I did very slow.
Ah, that was funny.
That was.
We were just sort of getting this ready to put onto a table to get rid of it, and he's just come out and started saying hello to Sam. He just wants to leave.
He's going to be heavy though, there's a lot of weight in that snake.
Come on, bud.
Next door neighbours, walking their dog. I have to say, Sam's being particularly brave here. Sam's not a big fan of snakes generally.
It's about then that you grab that midsection and plonk him in there. I reckon there's enough weight to pull him in there.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that though.
You're being brave.
That's only because he's overheated.
I've got friends at the moment that would be watching this and they're going, you are pathetic, just pick it up and put it in the bucket. But where are they? They're nowhere to be seen. So snake handlers, snake wranglers, we are not. We've decided to leave our little mate in the back of the tray here because at the end of the day he doesn't seem to care about us at all, and he just seems pretty friendly, to be completely honest. And when we were moving some stuff around, a rat came running out, so I prefer a dead rat inside that friendly snake than a rat because I just don't like rats. So see you, Brutus. We'll be back. In the meantime, we're going to leave you in the tray here so that we can take the rest of the GMC up to do the suspension mods. Okie dokie. And there she is. Well, the GMC is in its temporary home for a while so that work can continue on it. Ideally we'd have it under a roof, but as things would have it, we don't have a roof to put it under at the moment. So at least it's at the back of the workshop. Sam will be able to do some work on it. It's pretty much out of the way. We'll move the little dado out of the way so that Sam's got some swing room, and I don't know, might try and sort out a tarpaulin or something over it just to get some shade, protect it from the rain, whatever. It's not ideal, but it is what it is. So as mentioned in previous parts of this video or other videos, Sam quickly enough picked himself up an axle drop kit. So he's putting the springs underneath the axle rather than over the top, and it gives him, he reckons, about 6 inches of drop or something. So it won't be quite as low as it is at the moment, but it'll be certainly lower than it was. He does want a tail dragger sort of effect, so he's definitely going to get that. But I believe he's also still going to drop the front down a bit as well. It's good to have the tray off this because we've got to replace all the lower section of the cab at the back. You can see there's a section cut out on the right hand side. The left we haven't really touched. We've got those parts, and in the past, months and months ago now, we actually did a lot of work on the floor. This chassis got a reasonable amount of surface rust on it, but it seems to be a good solid thing, and we can run a tape measure over it now and just make sure it's not bent or twisted. I'm pretty convinced it's good. We've also got new shackles and new hangers. We've got new hangers because these ones are paper thin. The only thing we haven't got is some M8 bolts for it. Just haven't ordered those yet. So I believe Sam's going to go through and give this a big clean up, not necessarily all in one hit, but give it a big clean up, replace the parts. He's got the correct bushes for the leaf springs now, because the ones that we were trying to put in previously were wrong. So ordered some of those, got them from the States, and just a big shout out to Rock Autos. We're in Australia, Rock Autos, auto parts in America, and Sam ordered those parts online and they arrived 3 days later, which is just fantastic. And he ordered a few parts from them. They came at separate orders, but they were super quick and they look like good quality parts in good time. So they'll certainly be getting more business from us for anything they can help us with. Yeah, so well, I guess we move along. Sam starts doing some work and this thing starts getting some life breathed back into it. What are you doing, Sam?
Just gonna take some bushes out.
Yep.
They're a little bit cactus. And we're gonna put new ones in.
Nice. What are these out of?
GMC C25.
Okay. So what the process is here that we're going to do, we're going to use the oxy and we're going to burn these out. So the rubber, we're going to set it all on fire, and that'll make the metal components easier to get out. And then we may be able to just bang them out. If not, we've got a 20-ton press over there. So first things first, got to set fire to this. It's got to be smoky, destroy the environment and so on, but you know, what do you do? Where'd you just put your bushes, Sam?
In the freezer.
In the freezer. So things that are cold get smaller, things that are hot get bigger. So the idea is that we may or may not be able to get to it today, because it depends on how cold the bushes get in that time. We're going to cook these, get them out, and then clean it all up, and then we can heat these back up again, not to the point of being glowing, heat them back up, and then we will press in. We may even just be able to bang them in with a hammer, but we'll see, the new bushes. And the new bushes actually aren't rubber, they're solid metal. It's not something I've used before, but it was all Sam could actually find for these for some reason. So we're going to give that a go. So, take you along for the ride. Just letting them cook away there. You can see the rubber pushing its way out from the inside. You don't always have to do it this way, but you can press them out. The reason we're doing it this way was these were just seized solid. We had to cut most of the bolts. Everything was rusted in. I just figured we were just going to be really battling with it, trying to just press these out. I may have been proven wrong, but we're just going about this way. Relieve the pressure, get rid of the rubber, press the steel components out. With the rubber out of the way, it'll give the steel somewhere to go. So might have to set fire to that one. Doesn't smell real good, and it's a bit messy, but you can see a section there. That was the middle of the bush just falling out. So the sleeve came out. Now the air's got in there. The internal, the other part's burning out. So you can see the metal sleeve down on the ground. So that's the idea. Just trying to get them to fall apart. So I'll have to put some more heat on, but I think they're probably all just about there.
Nice.
Got to let it cool down, then we'll find a socket or something the same size as the outer bush, put it on the press, and we'll pop those out. And then we will give the springs a clean up. Sam's going to jump on the wire wheel for a while, just give them a clean up while they're out, give them the opportunity. And we're going to put the new ones in. Sam has also ordered, what'd you order, Sam?
A axle reverse flip kit.
Yep.
Yep.
So the springs will end up underneath the diff?
Yes, that'll be underneath the diff.
Yep, rather than above.
Yeah.
So if you are uncertain what we're talking about there,
There will be a new placement It will sit like that underneath the disc.
Yeah.
It would usually sit underneath. Oh, yes, on top.
So it will lower it by the thickness of the leaf pack, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
So the idea, in case you're wondering, the reason for that, we want a low stance on this, well Sam wants a low stance on this, so it'll lower it by a good few inches.
Yeah.
I'd actually, do you know the
I think
measurement?
they say about 6 inches or something like
Oh,
that.
okay, so a heap of inches.
Yes, a lot.
So, yeah, so that's the case. So it's got to be a bit of a tail dragger, that is the look. It'll be lowered at the front as well eventually. But yeah, it'll be a bit of a tail dragger. So this step one, all of this stuff needed doing, so rather than spend the money just replacing it with just normal stuff, hey, where's the fun in that? You got to change it.
Yeah.
Righto, we'll let this cool down and we'll go to the next step. Okay, well it seems the compressor's never going to stop going, so I'll just talk. So we had absolutely no success whatsoever trying to press these things out with the press. Now it's a 20-ton press and just no luck. So what we've reverted to is using the air chisel. We started taking this bush out in January 2024. It's now October 2024 and we've nearly got it finished. I'm going to let Sam have the glory of finishing this, but just to give you an indication, you're showing the torch down there. This thing is absolutely mangled. We cut a groove down the side of it trying to get it to collapse into itself and still couldn't get it out. We've been beaten on it. Nearly killed the compressor. Finish it off, Sam. Show it who's boss. Yay, look at that. Now,
That's how it's done.
yep, in TV world, we could say 4 seconds later, but in reality, it took ages, it took forever. What a mess. Okay, that's out now. Let the socket go. Okay, putting the bushes in Sam's leaf springs here. We're actually on the last one, we've done the others. So we've just got the bush sitting in the eyelet of the spring. We've got a socket that is exactly the same size as the bush. So we're pushing down on the outer metal sleeve with the hydraulic press. And all going well, it won't fight us. The idea is to keep it as square, so as true to the eye as you possibly can, and it should just slide in. Now last time we were here, we were trying to fit some other bushes that, as it turns out, were the wrong ones, and we nearly killed this press. And it took a good part of 5,000 hours
Yeah.
to just get the old bushes out.
About 4 days worth.
Yep, it was insane. But we're on a winning stretch. I'm just going to move this so I can push through the last little bit. What we don't want is anything interfering with the bottom of the bushes. We're trying to just drive it home. Hopefully we're right there. It just sticks out the other side a tiny little bit, so we just want to get it so it's perfectly even from side to side. What do you reckon? Looks pretty good. Okay, lovely. And that is as hard as it ever should be. So these springs have definitely seen better days, but we're just having a look and cleaning them up a bit so that we can put the over axle thingity bob on it. So the bolt in the middle here was a bit rusted, so we cleaned it up, but also the hole in this part was bigger. So what we did was just get a nut and ground it round on the outside and then drilled it out in the middle so it fits on. So it's now a sleeve. Just got to put some weld in there to hold it in place, and then what it does, it really nicely centers this so that it's not going to move. So yeah, it should come up very well. It'll hold nice and tight. Little modification, only took a little while, but worth doing. So that worked out well. I'm not sure if this goes this way or this way, but we'll work that out once we put it in. So yeah, just filled it in with weld. So that's now an enlarged pin. That just goes on there. Bam, locates that nicely. And away we go. These hangers that we got are ever so slightly different. So they're slightly wider through here by about 4 mil. No, sorry, about 8 mil, which is what, a quarter of an inch. So we're going to put an 1/8 of an inch spacer on either side. So we just got to get a washer that's the right thickness, put one there, just tack weld them in place, and that way the bushes, the new bushings that we've just put into the springs, will fit in there nicely. It'll center it. It should be fine. If anything, it'll just make it stronger. And likewise up here, these are actually slightly too wide. So just the metal sleeve in the middle there is slightly too wide. I'm just going to cut off 2 mil, which is what, 1/16, I think. 2 mil off either side, and then I'll just put some new little grooves, little striations there with the angle grinder, just so it grabs again. Minor modifications. It is what it is. They'll still work absolutely fine. That only took a couple of minutes. Took up the mill off either end of that, and as I said, just put some grooves back in the end there so that it grips as originally. So it's just a little bit of metal that's been removed. And the reason for that was previously that bush wouldn't fit in here, whereas now with a little bit of persuasion that'll pop in there nicely. Which there was no way that was going to fit in there before. So it'll do its job just fine. It's centered, it fits. And the other thing that we have to do, as I was saying, is we're just going to put a spacer here and a spacer here, because the bush for our leaf springs is narrower than the distance there. So I don't know if the shackles are manufactured differently or whether they are actually just the wrong ones, but it doesn't really matter. With a very minor modification, they're going to be fine. So we just need to space here and here, and we're going to just simply use some washers that we've found. We're going to center them. We'll grind them to shape so that they don't look funny, and we will weld them on there. Make it stronger. Not that that's what we really need, but make it stronger, but more importantly, it'll just make it so the springs fit as they should. Okay, so we didn't have the bolts that we needed for this because we ended up having to cut just about all of them. So we've cobbled it together, but what we've got the kit in one side only, nothing in the other side, just got it held up by a jack at the moment to see how it sits. And what we've worked out is that we've got 7 inches of drop out of this. The kit works really well, happy with it. I think Sam said it cost 350 Australian dollars, and it came from the US, so there was some freight charges and all that sort of stuff, but that was the cost of the kit. Okay, if you had the materials and all the rest, you could make it for less than that, but we didn't have to do that. We basically had to bolt it up. So everything's really heavy duty components, very good quality. I will put up in the link where this stuff's from, because I actually don't know.
Western chassis.
Western Chassis, thank you. So this is from Western Chassis. So it's a diff over spring drop kit, I guess. And this is part of the componentry here. Nice solid stuff. And there's no welding. There's no welding involved. So these components here, like look at that. That's good solid stuff. It's powder coated and so on. So how it all works is that this component here goes over the top of the diff. Oh, sorry, it goes over the top of the spring, I should say, like this, underneath the diff, and those tabs on the end go up into the original mounting points. So there's no welding involved. It all holds in place. So I guess if you wanted to, you could weld it, but it's not necessary. Happy with it. We've got to relocate the handbrake cable because I think we need to put that under the spring. And there doesn't seem to be any clearance issues. The bump stop location seems to have moved. So we've got to check that. We'll have a look. And we're actually going to find out what the original wheel base of this should be and measure it to see if it's actually changed. Because I think perhaps the diff has moved back maybe an inch or two. But I can't be sure because we didn't actually reference where the bump stop was coming up before. And as I mentioned earlier, this shackle, this hanger, is wider than what the other one was. So we haven't got it in there at the moment, but we've actually got some really nice little steel washers that we're going to put in either side, and it spaces it out and it'll center it and all be good. So we just haven't got that in there at the moment. This is mock-up so that we can see how it's going to work. But at the end of the day, this will achieve what Sam was after. He will probably take an inch or two out of the front of this still, but he wants the tail dragger look, and he's going to get it. This is a long bed. So once that bed is on there, then it's going to look nice and low at the back. And there is still a little bit of thread. Well, there's actually about an inch of thread left on those U-bolts. So if he wanted to, he could put a 1-inch lowering block in there and still get some more low out of it. But then we'll start talking about C-notching and all that sort of stuff in the chassis. And at this point, that's a journey that we don't want to travel down just at the moment. So yeah, I am happy with that. I think Sam's happy with that. We'll probably put some more content up about this particular work later on, but it's going to be a little while before we finish it. Sam doesn't live here all the time, so he gets some time to spend on it every now and then, and I don't really work on it when he's not here. So he'll chase up some bolts, we can get it together, and then of course he's got to go down the path of cleaning this whole chassis up, painting it, doing all that sort of stuff. We're going to have to replace some brake pipes because we managed to squash one in this process, but that's okay, that's easy enough to do. So that's it, the C25 or GMC C20 500, 2500, whatever it is. This thing, the spring flip kit. Thank you. So what do you reckon? I think it looks great. I think that new found stance that it's going to have is going to be just fantastic. So because we've got it out the back here now, we're in proximity to angle grinders and welders and all that sort of stuff, so we can start chipping away at this as well. As I say, Sam's only here every now and then, so the work will get done every now and then. But in the meantime, we've got other things to go on with, and I've been doing a bit of work on the international as well, so pretty happy about that. So thanks for joining me. I think I'm up to 398 subscribers. I asked for 400 last video, and you guys really went out there and you subscribed, so that's great. Do me a favor if you can, share, ask your friends to subscribe. I make the content, I'm going to keep making it anyway, but if you can subscribe, then it matters to me. It's good for my algorithm in YouTube land. So I'll see you on the next one. It won't be quite as long between this one and the next one as what it was between this one and the last one. Stay safe. See you then. Thanks a lot.